A good Thursday fall morning to you people. Zen here. This is Thursday, I believe. 7:30, 7:40 in the morning. Can't remember the exact numerical date. But it is the first crisp fall morning that feels like a fall morning. I've been watering my trees twice a week during the very, very, very long and hot summer we've had. And I do it usually on Sundays and Thursdays. That's why I know today is Thursday. And for the first time, my trees do not need to be watered on Thursday. They still have retained enough moisture from the Sunday. And I have a moisture meter. I know some of them are kind of tacky and maybe some people don't really believe in them, but they seem to work for me. And so I've only had to water this pluot here, even though it has hardly any leaves, and it never had any pluots. But take a look. It is late October, I believe, and my Asian beauty plum went into flower. Check this out. Straight from the nursery. See that? Early season. Okay? May, June. It is now October and it is flowering. It's been a kind of a strange year because almost all my fruit trees have been behaving strangely. The Jujubes, man, why does this thing focus? The Jujubes ended up ripening much later than usual. Usually I finish them by July. This year we started eating them in late July and into August. There is the poor alien grapefruit tree. It's recovering from state of chlorosis. It had some fresh leaves which were attacked by these leaf miners, and I treated it with neem oil. By the way, I'm baked as fuck. I just sampled the first oil that I made from my crop, which you won't see a stick of it sticking up. Well, maybe some sticks where I clipped them, but everything's gone. Everything's drying in the garage. Some of it I've already processed into oil, baked myself a poppy seed cake, and that's why I'm forgetting words like neem oil. But treated it with neem oil, and hopefully some of the leaves will be able to survive. This thing needs to get some foliage on it. I should have taken off all the fruit. A struggling tree, you don't want it to carry fruit because it saps the energy, but I mean, compared to what this tree normally holds, I just can't bear to cut off the fruit. I'm just going to let this tree muster through as it would in nature without me spraying it with chelated iron and stuff. So yeah, but I mean, the trees that are rocking are the I almost called this thing persimmons. Come on, man. I can't be that daft. Pomegranates. The pomegranates are rocking. I already harvested about 10 off of this tree. Here's the poor mango tree. It's still alive. Hopefully it'll make it through the winter. It's kind of struggling. It looks like it wants to push forth new growth, but it's also been dropping leaves too, so I started getting worried. I wanted to take a scion off of it, but if this thing's ailing, the scion's probably not going to do too well, and I can't get it to match up size-wise with my manila mango, which is doing great. As you can see, no issues with this manila mango whatsoever. See, what I was thinking of, this initially had 3 stems. And one of the top of the stems I had found completely covered with aphids, which surprised me. I didn't think aphids were keen on mango. But it was completely covered with aphids, and then after I sprayed them and then wiped them off, the top kind of molded and died. So this is the third stem here. Okay? And I was thinking if my fruit punch were starting to go south, I could clip off a scion and then clear this area and then graft it here. But as you can see, this is a fairly... I'm going to have to practice my grafting techniques. One of the things I didn't show you guys was my attempt to graft citrus. So I've tried grafting a number of times now, and none of them have stuck. So that's why I was remiss. Man, this thing just won't focus. Time to get a new phone or to get an actual camera or something. The heck. I apologize, people. Not that many of you are watching anyways. But that's why I've been afraid to take a clipping off of this tree and try grafting it, even though maybe I should. If it starts dropping more leaves, I'll just give it a shot. I mean, that means this mango is probably on its way out, which will be sad after you note my long journey trying to grow it here. Guava tree is completely bursting with guavas. So heavy the branches are breaking off. I mean, I've already harvested about 5 plastic grocery bags full of guavas this size, giving it away to people. And I mean, the only way I like these guavas is I put them in a smoothie. I blend them up in a smoothie with collard greens and with some orange juice, a little banana, and pomegranates. I juice up the pomegranates, but I don't just chomp into these things. But I know people who love them, so I've been giving away bags, and I've actually had to prop up a couple branches using this ladder that were about to break. And so I've got them tied to the ladder. I mean, look at all this fruit. This branch was just about to snap, as well as this one. But I don't know. I mean, I don't even need all this guava. It's not like I need to be greedy about it. Maybe I should just thin some of the fruit. But this is the first year I've seen guava on this tree this big. So maybe it's the consistent watering and the occasional foliar feeding and the occasional compost tea has been doing its job, because this tree is just banging. All the persimmons ended up finishing very small, a lot of them sunburnt. It was a very disappointing crop. Probably harvested about 20-25 persimmons off of this tree, which isn't bad for an off year. This is supposed to be its light bearing year, so they were small, and the successive heat waves we've had of over 100 degrees burnt a lot of them. And ants had gotten to them, and birds were starting to eat at them, so I probably lost a third of the persimmons that were on this tree to like birds and sunburn and like ants getting in them. And so then I just finally started cutting all the rest off. And so they're probably got about 12 left in the kitchen, ripening up, which isn't as nice as them ripening on the tree. When you pull them green, there's something about the persimmon. I mean, it'll get really soft quickly, but some of it will still look slightly green. You never want to cut your persimmons early and just ripen them unless you're forced to, like I was. So hopefully next year we'll have big, juicy multitudes of persimmons. And there'll be enough to go around, and I can just pluck them off the tree and eat them when they're like soft and juicy, because I've developed a real strong liking to persimmons. Here's a couple pears I left on the tree. A couple of the other ones snapped some of the limbs, so that's a lesson learned. What was I thinking, allowing this tree to actually hold fruit? You can see that the weight of the fruit actually kind of made the tree lean towards the right. I actually had a stake in here to prop it up when it held about 5 more fruit, which I eventually just had to cut off. And actually, they're actually ripening, and they're going to be edible soon. So, you know, they're little pearlings, cute, but as you can see, trying to repair it with tape. That this thing broke and was hanging, and then a couple other ones broke so bad I just had to clip them off. So lost like 2 branches because I thought this thing could hold fruit this year. But I was just excited to see something fruiting, you know what I mean? Here's me trying to train up some more limbs. I'm trying to encourage all the new lower branching because it gives me access to the fruit really easily, and then the birds can have all the ones up top, and then I can shake this tree and all the excess can go to the ground and the rabbits can eat it. But the fruit was just making these branches just fall down to the ground, so I put in some rope. I'm gonna train the limbs to stand out a little more. So yeah, I suppose this has been my kind of brief fall tour. Let's end on the personal honeybee that I was hoping to cultivate. This is the remains of these suckers. Bye bye bees. Hope you have a happy home somewhere else. Out of my yard. Alright guys, take care.